Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, says the fourth commandment of God in Exodus 28. Exodus 28 NIV. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. This verse is part of the Ten Commandments and highlights the importance of dedicating one day of the week to rest and spiritual reflection. It's a reminder to pause from our daily work and activities to honor and remember God's creation and blessings. But what exactly does it mean to remember the Sabbath day, and how do you keep it holy? To remember the Sabbath day of God means never to forget that He has set apart one day per week for rest and worship, one day that is for our benefit and for strengthening our relationship with Him. This day is the seventh day, also known as Saturday, and not the first day of the week, Sunday, as some may incorrectly think. Luke 23:53-56. Here is a brief summary of Luke 23:53-56. This passage describes the events following the crucifixion of Jesus. Verse 53, Joseph of Arimathea takes Jesus' body down from the cross, wraps it in a linen cloth, and places it in a tomb cut in rock, where no one had ever been laid. Verse 54, it was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was about to begin. Verse 55, the women who had come with Jesus from Galilee followed Joseph and saw the tomb and how his body was laid in it. Verse 55, the women who had come with Jesus from Galilee followed Joseph and saw the tomb and how his body was laid in it. Verse 55, the women who had come with Jesus from Galilee followed Joseph and saw the tomb and how his body was laid in it. Verse 56, then they went home and prepared spices and perfumes, but they rested on the Sabbath in obedience to the commandment. This passage highlights the care and respect given to Jesus' body after his death and the observance of the Sabbath by his followers. How do we keep holy the day of God? By stopping from our daily activities, work, shopping, cooking, personal pleasures, traveling, doing business, etc. Instead, we gather at church to worship God, we walk in nature and admire the artwork of the best artist in the universe, and we also make sure to take care of those in need in our community. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Exodus 28:11 KJV. God knew our tendency to forget His holy Sabbath day. Thus, He made sure to include the word remember when He gave Moses the 10 Commandments written in stone with His finger. God knew our tendency to forget His holy Sabbath day. Thus, He made sure to include the word remember when He gave Moses the 10 Commandments written in stone with His finger. God knew our tendency to forget His holy Sabbath day. Thus, He made sure to include the word remember when He gave Moses the 10 Commandments written in stone with His finger. When the Lord finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, He gave him the 2 tablets of the covenant law, the tablets of stone inscribed by the finger of God. This verse describes the moment when God completed giving Moses the commandments on Mount Sinai and provided him with the stone tablets inscribed with the covenant law. These tablets contained the 10 Commandments, which are fundamental principles for the Israelites. Even though the Israelites were aware of the commandments of God long before the Mount Sinai event, see Exodus 16, God decided that now was the time to make Israel know how important are His laws, and how would they benefit them too if they would obey and listen to their Heavenly Father. To remember the Sabbath day of God means to stop our busy life and activities on this holy day, Saturday, and remember that God has given us among His 10 Commandments, one that deals with rest, worship, and relationship with Him. On the Sabbath day, once every seventh day of the week, we are to take a break from our hectic life and activities that never seem to stop and not forget our origins. When God created this earth, He rested on the seventh day. Genesis 2:2-3. God blessed and sanctified the seventh day of the week and made it holy. The Creator of the universe stopped and rested from His works, not because He was tired, but for that special communion with His creatures and with everything He has created. A special day for a special relationship with His creation. Before Friday sunset, also called Preparation Day, Luke 23:54, NIV. It was Preparation Day, and the Sabbath was about to begin. This verse is part of the account of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. It indicates that the events took place on the day before the Sabbath, which is why it is called Preparation Day. The Sabbath was approaching, and according to Jewish customs, all work needed to be completed before the Sabbath began at sunset. We are to get ready for the Sabbath day by making sure we have all the cleaning, shopping, cooking done, and clothing ready for the holy day of God. During the entire week is good to prepare in advance for the Sabbath and not let everything be done on Friday. So we want to make sure we sort all our business deals, projects, paperwork, etc. before Friday. When the preparation day comes, we can finish with the last touches for the Sabbath, like having special clothing ready and the meal as well. In conclusion, the commandment that says to remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy doesn't need to be difficult. Once we take care of the regular work that needs to be done, be it job, shopping, cooking, etc., then we can take time to prepare for the Sabbath command. May the Lord help you and your family to enter into His rest every Sabbath and enjoy the wonderful gift of God, this life and the one there is to come by His grace.